What is going on, friends and family? So this video here, first off, thank you guys for sharing your time with me. I promise I'm gonna do my best to keep it brief. And if you want to, what you can do is just hit play and just listen if you want, because you can listen, you can watch the slideshow, you can see the words. I do that so that everybody, it hits everybody's brain, because I know some of us are really analytical and then some of us are more visual. So whatever that is, but the point of this video, late at night, everybody's knocked out, but the point of this video is, it's been on my brain lately. It's like, how can I have a discussion with some partners and they're loving the results and they're winning, and then why is it that certain partners are like stale? And that's why it says cage system, success, or stalemate. You know, where do you fall in, and which side are you at? And just so full transparency, stalemate, the only reason why I use that is because I wanted another S word. So success, or I never use the word stalemate. I actually Googled it just to make sure it made sense. So if it doesn't, I apologize. I was just trying to make it look cool. But let's go ahead and get into it, because I want to respect your time. I know everybody's busy. And I put the tagline, when you win, we win. And that's facts, because that's really what it's about. It doesn't, even if your internet department or whatever, if one salesperson crushes it, that's not success. The whole organization needs to win. All right. So I'll put on here the first slide. Leadership implementation is the #1 reason for success or stalemate. And so what I mean by that, so I got a few points here that I'm going to list out and then just kind of review them with you. So #1 thing for success or stalemate, and this really isn't just with Cage Automotive, this is really with any partner that you work with, and internally, is communication. And what's interesting about this is this actually came up today on a call. I was talking with a CEO of a company, and he was talking about, even for him, he said the #1 thing that creates wins or losses within my organizations and organizations we partner with is the communication. Has to be communication, has to be candor. And in the thousands of discussions that I've had, that's the #1 thing that I hear in terms of when people either leave or something crazy happens or they're not winning. It's the communication piece. As a leader, are you communicating effectively with your team? And I'm talking about everything. No different than a marriage, but I also communication on everything, good, bad, and the ugly, right? Next, the success part, or it could be failure, will be the implementation of team goals. And goals need to be done weekly, so they can be a monthly goal that we have, but it needs to be broken down to weeks, and then we manage the days. But that's a huge part, and that's how we align with our clients, with the dealers, is because we want to know what your goals are so we can put it in our system. So that's how we judge the success. But what it does by having a goal is it makes it clear about where you're trying to go. So the worst thing that you can ask is asking your team or an individual, hey, what's the dealership's goal? What's their strategy? How many cars are we trying to sell? And if they don't know that, again, it goes back to communication. But goals are important, but making sure that you have your goals, the plan, and the actions. What's the goal for the store? What's the goal for an individual? What's the plan to get there? And then what daily activities are required to get there? Just doing that one thing alone, communication, setting goals, and manage them weekly and holding people accountable, game over, right? Next, training 15 minutes a day. So I put this on here because that's what I did on the retail side. I didn't do all the training. I would make it fun and include other people in it. But just because there's training that's done either when I'm there or somebody on my team is there, it's important to make sure that daily training is done even outside of that. And have fun with it, like have people on your team doing it, whichever, but it doesn't have to be the same person, just mix it up. And one thing that I think we all know is that when you learn, when you teach, so there's certain people that maybe don't buy in on everything, have them teach, have them teach it. And it's amazing how much people will implement after they've taught it, and then you have Cage Campus. So if I'm a leader at your store, if or an individual, if you're a salesperson, internet person watching this, if you feel yourself getting off or your numbers are slipping a little bit, go back and watch some content, revisit. And it doesn't just have to be Cage Campus. I'm not saying that I'm the best thing ever, right? But, find something, whatever you connect with, it just keeps that going. Because if I'm not doing stuff like, looking all over here for some books, and like I've got, anyways, I had a stack of books right here. You know, there's one about Clubhouse, there's another one about investing, but I have to stay sharp, and I do that by just training and reading and practicing all the time. I promise you, I'm gonna move quickly through this slide, but this first slide is the most important, and that's the only reason why I've slowed down like this. So hang on there with me, I'm going somewhere. Daily accountability. Make sure that you're spot checking the process. So this is huge because it's one thing to get this system put in, but it's another to make sure that you spot check. So the easiest way, and this is before the internet days, is that what you would do is say the internet leads, for example. If you want to see how it's working, every now and then just click, and just go look and see. And then you can learn about the process, or either go sit with your team, do whichever. But it's important to make sure that you're spot checking, seeing how your team's doing, and then ask them for feedback. How's it working? You know, and I put the daily accountability also because that ties into the goals, the plan, and the action. You know, but accountability is huge. Communication, goals, accountability. These aren't even secrets. These are things that we already know, but I'm just telling you, if you want to see this program go to another level, just keep on with me now. Next, Scoreboard. So that's a sheet, and it'll pop up here in a second, about keeping track. Like, you have to have some kind of system to hold people accountable, but you don't even have to hold them accountable. If you have a system or a sheet where people log their daily efforts, they now hold themselves accountable. And that's what you want, because that's where the growth is people learning how to manage themselves. And I know some of you are thinking like, people don't do that, but it can be taught. And that's what creates that system. Next, I put lead first, manage second. So just making sure that we understand that we are in a people business. That's it. We're in people business. So people fight for people that they believe in, that are great leaders, because they feel like those leaders are pouring into them, and so they want to make sure they give back. Manage second. So lead is helping people get to where they want to go. Manage is managing those things that get them there. Cool. So we're leading them because we know what you want. You know, I know what Corey wants. I know what Sean wants, right? So my goal is to help them get there. That's leadership, learning, listening. Managing is making sure that we know the steps to help them get there, and just managing that daily process. So here's some example. Man, I'm so sorry again for going over a little bit, but that first slide was important. All right. And here's some examples of the sheet. So you can see one store here, they manage videos. Videos weren't getting done as much. But then once we start measuring it, you're talking about 911 videos for the group that didn't want to do any videos, but then now they're measuring it and tracking it, and it just keeps growing every single month. Second, if you look over here, you can see calls, contacts, texts, all that stuff. Imagine having all this information. So if you're not using this, or if you don't have a system, you're going to be lost, and it's going to lead to stalemate. I love saying that word. I really don't. Internet sales online experience team. So I'm going to put these on here so we can speed this up a little bit, because again, the whole goal of this is just like as a refresher, and just letting people know what it takes for either success or stalemate. And I want to see obviously more clients be successful, you know, because my name's attached to this thing. You know, I care more about just making sure that clients and partners feel like I'm doing everything I can to help them be successful. And if you don't feel that way, communicate to me as soon as possible. I'll take the criticism, I'll take the feedback, right? Because I think it should go both ways. Okay, so the internet sales online experience team process. So this is important. Just to break it down really quick. New opportunities come in. The number one thing that the team is supposed to do, read the description, call within a few minutes, you know, send a video text and a video email after that first thing was done. If there was no phone number, then you send a text video or an email video. Why video? You're going to see here in a few minutes. So many stats that support this. I can tell you right now, every dealership that's on this call or that's watching this has received a personalized video from me before they even signed up. And normally it was that was that extra thing that pushed it over. It was like, whoa, that was cool. So I don't teach your team to do anything that I don't do myself. So important. But if your team is not going to do video, personalized videos, you're looking at stalemate. You can win, you can still have success because you can do a lot of other things. But if you want to take it to that next level, get some videos in there. And again, I'm going to share with you some data on why.